I really wish I could figure out this on my own channel for whatever reason. I can't live stream anything,
Oh, really?
and I don't know why. It just won't let me. Because you know how when you're doing the live streaming, you have to what's the word I'm looking for? You have to like go into the YouTube thing and get the stream key and everything. I did
Yeah, I'll
all
link it to your channel.
yeah, I do all that. Haven't had a problem with it. Set it up. It's fine. Go to do it the other day. It won't let me. Saying that you need to confirm something. I'm like, so I click on the link that it sends you, and it
Uh-huh.
does nothing. So
Yeah, so on my links I was or on my streams I was having try to link um the chat on my OBS so it would show on the screen on the
right.
video so when people watch it they could see the chat. So if I ever record it or something, people can see what the chat was doing. And for the like when I was in Nevada, I had that all figured out. And then I moved to Utah and I reset it all up. And for whatever reason, like I was using Streamlabs and the link would not work for the life of me. I couldn't get it figured out. And then last night we streamed again for the first time since I moved here and I didn't even have to mess with it. It worked fine.
That is so weird.
So I don't know I don't know
And
what changed, what update happened, but
see,
all of a sudden it was working last
you have a
night.
different excuse. You moved, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
It was something like that. That we, I haven't
But
moved, so I don't know what
yeah.
my excuse is. Why it won't work. Sound test.
But I don't know why the move, because it's still the same computer. It's still the same. All the links are the same. I'm just in a different location.
Is it an area thing? I don't know if
I
that's.
don't think so. It shouldn't be.
Hmm. That is so.
Because it's through, so it's Streamlabs. Like I set it all up on Streamlabs, and it creates a link for me to use, and then I copy that link into the chat settings or whatever on OBS, and it should link, and it did in Nevada. I triple, quadruple checked everything when I was in Utah. Couldn't get it to work. And then last night, I didn't even like try to mess with it, and it was just working.
That is so weird. I wonder where Crad's at. I know he's active, so maybe he's trying to log in. Who knows? It is again. That's so weird. I'd set something up for my brother on the computer, and he was having a problem with something. OBS for a while, I couldn't record anything. I was using XSplit
Oh, really?
for a little bit because for whatever reason, OBS just
Hmm.
wouldn't let me do anything. Turn my gain up a little bit. It just I don't know what it was. It just didn't wanna work for me. I wonder where Crad's at. Hmm. He's coming. All right, I'll just start.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
All right, Crad, we're live streaming. I'm gonna hit record. There we go.
Works for me.
Recording in
So
progress.
far, we sound good from what I heard on the sound test. So everything,
And we can actually hear you. So
yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
And it's a
You just
well,
can't. His face is all blacked out. That's all.
yeah. I got to fix my
Shadowed up.
lighting. I got the lights behind me that would help, but they're not finished.
Did you
being
move it
strung.
around again?
Okay, so the last time it was moved because I had to move something on that was against this wall that I'm facing, so I had to move it and move it back.
Not only that, but you have a different mic.
So actually, I've had this mic.
Yeah.
I've had this mic. I just haven't had the boom arm for it. For whatever reason,
Uh,
Amazon didn't ship them together. It delayed it like a month. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is with Amazon. They can't if it's you order it together. Like when you're on Amazon, you scroll to the bottom. Sometimes it's like bundle these together.
Uh-huh.
I did that, and it was like this thing will ship at this day. This day will ship at this day, and then I got an email saying, "Oh, that's delayed." I was like, "Thanks, Amazon."
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the whole, multicolored one you had. So,
Oh no, that one just stopped working.
No.
It just we were on.
imagine
we were,
that. Something you have with
we were on
technology
the
stops
we were
working.
on the podcast and it stopped working because I sound like a chipmunk. And
Oh,
I,
that
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's
I
right.
remember that.
I had to like unplug and plug it back in. After that podcast, it just stopped working. I went back to Best Buy and I'm like, hey, and of course I didn't get the protection plan because why would
Of course.
I?
Of course.
Why would you?
Why wouldn't I get the protection plan? And they're like, oh, you missed the day of this, blah blah. We can't replace it. Da, 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 da. I was like, cool.
I mean, it's not like you ever have trouble with technology.
No,
No,
never,
not at all.
never, not at all. And I'm the IT person in the family, so think how everyone else is.
That's how it goes.
Wow, that's just kind of sad. Honestly.
It is. But welcome to the Long Distance Pizza Party podcast. If you're listening to us live, you probably don't know what we're talking about because we were just waiting for Crad, and I was setting it all up and all that. But yeah, thanks for joining us, whoever is listening out there in YouTube land. For all those who are watch back on the stream or on Spotify, or if you're on our own Discord, which you can chat with us in the Discord if you go through the links, and you can chat in the YouTube live stream or just somewhere in the Discord if you'd like. I didn't hear any responses back because I posted something in the Discord, but I didn't hear any responses back. But if you go to links down below in the description, you can join that Discord at Long Distance Pizza Party Podcast Discord. This is a strange topic, which I like this one. Dawk's not here to be the devil's advocate. If we get too rowdy, I'll just start doing timeout corners or something like that. But it was just friendly topics. I don't know if you had certain topics you want to bring up. Strange. I have a list of some.
I had a couple examples, but we don't have to do those ones.
Right.
They were just like examples.
Right. Yeah. One of mine, I just had some nerd stuff, and I had some like food ones on there. So I don't know if you had some right off the bat you wanted to do, or if Crad, if you had any.
Let's see. Eternal security. No, just kidding. No, I just played. I got nothing off with that. What do you got, Strange? This is your topic. Let's get one of yours going.
Well, I had like Marvel versus DC
Hmm.
was one. That's kind of the nerdy side, and then kind of more on the theological side, we could do like pre-trib versus post-trib,
Ooh.
or I don't know. We just pick some topics or anything like that. Like one can somebody can be on one side of theaters are dying or should die, and another one could be like theaters are, should come back or something like that. Theaters are still important. Stuff
Here's
like
a
that.
twist.
I actually heard that on a different podcast the other day.
Here's a twist. What if we all agree on everything?
That's why sometimes we just have to pick a side or something.
Yes. Let's I
don't
know
know.
last week we did talk about some of that theaters should die, shouldn't die. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, so I thought that was funny that topic came up on the podcast I was listening to right after
exactly.
our discussion.
Google's listening all the time.
Yeah. Well, it was an older podcast. Like I'm behind on that podcast by like a couple weeks. So
well, yeah. Let's do the Marvel DC one for Doc hits here. That way he can be devil's advocate for some of these other ones. Since we have talked about some of these. So who wants to be devil's advocate?
what do you mean, like mediator?
We don't have to have a mediator, but who wants to be the?
I think he's going to say who wants to face off in the
Yes,
debate, so to
yes.
speak, is
Well,
what he's
yes.
saying.
I mean, we could all face off, but because I'm very on the fence with it, Marvel versus DC.
Okay, so I think we need to break this down a little bit because you have like just comics and characters in general. You have
The movie side.
their ability to do movies or their ability to do TV shows. Because I flip when it comes to movies and TV shows.
I've actually flipped when it comes to Marvel and DC doing TV shows very recently. So
Because I could argue that Marvel makes the better movies, DC makes the better TV shows.
I can agree with that. That's always been an argument too.
Yeah.
Because DC's always tried doing movies, and the only ones that do well are what? Superman, to a degree.
Boring.
And Batman. Batman's like their bread and butter. They're just like, let's make a Batman movie.
But they've lost touch with Batman, in my opinion.
Well, he's been
they're making it too serious and too boring.
Yes.
Is what is happening.
Yes. And then you got the TV side when they try to go more obscure, and I think they lose the TV audience.
Okay, so I will when I say TV, there's live action and animated, and I say animated. Like DC is I feel the master of animated
Hmm.
shows and movies too. Um so when it comes to animation, DC's better, but when it comes to live action, I think Marvel does better.
I don't know, man. That old Spider-Man show back in the day,
The
I
'90s
grew up
one where
on.
he couldn't punch anyone, he only kick them.
Yeah, I mean, that was some good watching, in my opinion. That's
Oh
just
yeah.
me.
Then in the '90s, Marvel for whatever reason was like, let's do Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man had a show, the Avengers had a show, and then like
But they didn't really take off. I mean, maybe Spider-Man. I would say Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
did, but most Spider-Man and X-Men
Those had
would
they had like
be
4 seasons
Yeah,
each.
X-Men. Yeah,
yeah,
X-Men did a little
X-Men.
bit too.
But as far as like staying power, Batman animated series,
Yeah.
Superman, Justice League, Justice Friends,
Static Shock. There was a couple
Static
others
Shock
on.
was a great show.
Yes,
I feel like DC had more hits when it comes to like animation.
and even
And
after
even
that,
animated movies, DC has a bigger, better list.
they had really good ones, and like at a certain point they were decent, and then there was a decline, and then like
Yeah.
they were like in between there would be like good pockets of them. They're all Batman. That's the other thing. They're always Batman movies. They never,
Yeah.
for whatever, they couldn't get away from Batman. And then more recently, there was that recent Superman show that came out that has um, Jack Quaid as Superman, Dennis Quaid's son, and it's really good. Season 3's coming out. They just posted a teaser for season 3, and they're gonna do Lex Luthor and Cyborg Superman
Yeah.
as like a big plot.
And then you can't forget Teen Titans.
Teen Titans,
Not Teen Titans Go. Forget
No.
Teen Titans Go.
Oh.
I'm talking Teen Titans.
and there was
Amazing show.
there was the Forgotten Batman show in between the Batman, not to be confused with
Yeah.
the Batman movie, which was arguably they tried to connect it to the Teen Titans show, only because
yeah?
the Robin design in that was the Teen Titans design.
Uh,
But only because they were coming out at the same point. I don't think they were ever meant to be connected. They don't even mention Batman at any point in that show.
in Teen Titans? Yeah, they
And
do.
They allude to him, but they never.
Yeah, like he doesn't appear, but
No.
they talk about him.
Oh yeah, and it's frustrating because like you want Batman to show up, or like
Yeah.
other greater DC characters to show up, and they don't for whatever reason. For that whole show, like Superman, I don't think after that animated series he can never take off. They never really got a Superman project after that, like show wise, until very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And that one people really like. It's very anime inspired, so I think that's why people really like it. It's like these different like anime stuff in it. Marvel does though have some good shows. They're just forgotten. Like there was an Avengers show in the 2000s that people really liked, but got canceled because they wanted to do MCU synergy, and it was too comic booky, so they had to make it more like the movies. And I think that's when it lost a lot of its fans. There's a Spider-Man show from the Spectacular Spider-Man that people really like. There's an Iron Man show that some people remember. I thought it was fine. They did Teen Iron Man, which was off-putting for me.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
For whatever reason, they made it Teen Iron Man. I don't know why. And there's a bunch of animated Marvel movies they did that Kevin Feige worked on before he got to the MCU that are good. Like there's a Hulk versus, there's like a Wolverine special, like a Thor special that he did. There's a Doctor Strange movie, which takes the Doctor Strange movie from the MCU takes plots from, but the animated movie's better because it makes it doesn't have I can't even think of the actor's name now. Mads Mikkelsen. They make that character a better character in the animated movie. So like Marvel does have good projects. It's just they want to be very MCU synergistic,
Yeah.
which it's become its problem. And I think they've started to realize that. Hopefully, because that's all they want to focus on the MCU and nothing really else. There was something that Marvel announced. What did they just announce? That was like out of like it was very different. I was like, oh, this is cool, and I think it got canceled. I can't think of what it was now. It was some game. It wasn't a show, but it was a game.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. What was that?
Maybe it wasn't canceled, but it's being pushed back. It was like a World War II game with Black Panther and Captain America.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Marvel. I think they're always gonna flip with each other. when it comes to DC being better with TVs and movies,
Mm-hmm.
or with TV shows. Not really. They're still trying to figure out movies. Marvel with shows or with movies. I think they will flip. There's always this flip where DC has a rise, then Marvel has a rise with it. But more recently, DC's had a rise. Like Marvel, if you look at their sales, their sales are dipping.
Oh yeah.
Like comic wise, it's
and cut by comics.
by
Okay.
comic wise because of some of the synergy they've been doing. Not saying that that synergy is the whole reason, but it's some of the like it's event fatigue, it's the synergy, it's all these smaller decisions they've made the last 10 years, where it's like people are like, oh, I want to read more DC stuff, or DC's trying other stuff, like with events, with specials, with like graphic novels. They've really pushing graphic novels. And like getting into bookstores, doing stuff with these like the smaller comic book stores. Like they've been trying other things because everyone that works there remembers being that guy in the 90s going to the comic book store. So they're trying to get that feel back.
Mm. Okay.
Who do you think has the better characters overall, though?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say
okay,
next. Is
so
characters overall, like overall.
So if you
not what they do with them, but the characters themselves.
So if you divide it, who has the better villains, who has the better heroes? Because I think DC has some of the better villains.
Yes.
Because you got Joker.
Mostly Batman's.
Yeah, mostly Batman's.
Batman,
Superman does have...
Batman overall has the best villains.
Superman does have some good ones. It's just everyone kind of doesn't want to use some of the other ones besides Lex Luthor. And that's about it. Like, they don't use Mongol. They use Darkseid. Like, there's a couple that they could really use. DC has some good ones. Deathstroke or Slade, which we want to call him. Because that was a thing for whatever reason, 2000s.
Yeah.
Catwoman, she's not really a villain. They've made her more of an anti-hero.
Yeah. She's kind of flip-flop there.
Yeah. Since, like, the 70s or 80s, she's been kind of that. Marvel has some, but it's very much, like, they don't get used as much anymore. Some, like, their better villains, like Red Skull, Magneto. Magneto's also kind of like an anti-hero. Like, he's been more on the good side. Like, he's leading the X-Men right now.
Like, he has good reasoning behind his thoughts. Because he's, an Auschwitz survivor, right?
Yes.
Like, he's seen the worst of humanity. So,
but that's his problem.
Like, you can understand why he feels the way he does.
But that's the problem, is he's seen the worst. So he then pushes the worst, and he doesn't see the hopeful part of it. Like it, and like that they played with that more recently in comics, where he's now having to be the Professor X of the X-Men, and like he's seen more of that good side.
Okay,
which is gonna be interesting when they decide to flip him again, which is gonna be very frustrating. There's other, like Namor again. He's kind of like a villain. Like, he's not really a villain. He's a hero character, but he's had villain tendencies and moments like Magneto. That's the thing. I think Marvel has more sympathetic villains, so they tend to flip. Because you have characters like Doom, who is a villain, but like again, like with Magneto, like he, at some point, he thinks he's being altruistic, but it's also through all his control. And like, I think the other problem is some of these villains that Marvel uses, they have like Red Skull is like a Nazi, so they really don't want to play a lot of that. And they have other villains they could use, like they have like a bunch of aliens, like in groups, like the Skrulls, and a bunch but they don't use them that much. Or they have minor villains like the Absorbing Man, and other characters, but they don't get used that much because they're kind of goofy.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have some of the heroes. Who's one of the more noticeable heroes? Like you got Superman, Batman.
Well, I mean Justice League, right?
Justice League,
the main ones. Because I do like, of course, Batman's my favorite. Martian Manhunter, I like. Flash was one of my favorites for a long time. But I've never really liked Superman. I mean, I did kind of when I was a kid, but it's the more he just bores me for the most part. I don't like Superman that much. And I feel like a lot of the other ones, like Wonder Woman's cool, but and then you have Aquaman.
The problem with Wonder Woman is she's always the girl character.
Yeah.
She's never, whenever you try to give her own story, it has to be, she's the girl character. She's the girl part of the Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Got the Flash.
The Flash.
The Flash, like I said.
He got a show. Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Green Arrow. The Green Lantern kind of universe is interesting too.
It's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I love their story. I love their stories. I don't think it'd ever work in movies or TV. because it
Yeah,
goes so
yeah,
weird so quick.
yeah, I could see that. But really, there's not a lot of like heavy hitters, and I'll admit, most of my experience is from movies and TV shows and not the comics. But when you think of like the Marvel heroes, I feel like there's a better variety because I love Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, have some interesting
Fantastic Four.
characters.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, I like Ant-Man. I mean, the movie portrayal of Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd's version of it. Of course, Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. I do think Marvel has some of the better, has more heroes that are better. I still think Batman's one of the best ones, but Marvel has a better variety, I think.
I think people like DC villains a lot or heroes a lot because they went weird with it. Like there's a lot of more indie characters at DC, or like more weird because they did like a British invasion during the 90s, so it was very much more philosophical. Like you got Swamp
Yeah.
Thing, John Constantine, like these more edgy 90s character, not edgy 90s, but like more grounded, serious, and people seem to really like that. Like you had Netflix had a Sandman show,
Hmm.
which was very much like
Okay.
let's do this entity's like goes in people's dreams. So it's very much like that kind of vibe, which people seem to really like. And, like it's more ethereal, and then you got the more high flying superhero characters at Marvel that are like up
Yeah.
here, gods among men,
Hmm.
and then you have DC's the man among amongst gods. You got someone like Batman.
Well, Batman is the man amongst gods, but
Yes,
almost everybody else is.
there's that. Yeah, is high
But I mean, you
powered.
could say the same for Ant-Man too.
Yes,
And Tony, well, Tony Stark.
Tony. Yeah,
But then you have, I mean, like, uh, um, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, Quill,
Quill.
sorry, Quill is man among gods. Although he ends up being like half god or whatever. So
Yeah, which was a
yeah,
movie thing, which works for the movies.
yeah, I don't know about that in the comics, um, but otherwise, I mean, you've got Thor and all the Asgardians. You've got just a lot of big hitters, I think, and
Yeah,
well, then you have the mutants from X-Men. I don't know. That's kind of I wouldn't classify them quite like that.
yeah, and it depends on how you view their power scale because it's like
Yeah.
DC, they're sometimes they're more grounded characters, but like they can like flip something on a dime, versus Marvel. Some you got Iron Man who is just a dude in a suit
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's having to go up against Thor and like people like Thor and Hulk on a daily
like
basis.
compete with them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
and it's kind of that argument. He's like, how powerful are those characters on the day? Also depends on the writers. Like, how powerful is Thor on a given day? Like, is he able to lift up a building, or is he like stronger than that? Or like Hulk, how strong is Hulk? Depends on the story.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and I think it also depends on your connection to the character. Like, strange, you say you don't like Superman. Someone else, someone who might leave like, oh, Superman's one of the best characters, blah blah blah. Like it really
Well, he is
depends.
absolutely the strongest character out of either
And
universe.
that's hard to write sometimes when
Yeah.
you have a character that's
Be
really powerful.
yeah. Because
Overpowered.
Yeah.
a lot, yeah, absolutely overpowered. A lot of his story is about he is so overpowered, and it's him trying to restrain himself.
He has a great quote in Justice League. He's like, I live in a world made of cardboard, and this one
Yeah.
moment I can let loose. So
Yeah.
it's like there's a good story called "What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, the American Way." So it's him having to deal with how do you deal with these people that think they can go kill villains, but he has that ideal of no, I can't. We could rehabilitate them, and
Hmm.
at the end he shows him why he doesn't kill someone. He pretends to go to that level, but it's all this big ruse. They made an animated movie. It's actually really good,
Oh.
and it shows how powerful Superman actually is, but how much he actually has to hold back. And it's not because he's
Hmm.
afraid of people; it's because he's afraid of how far he will go and how people.
Yeah, he's
view
afraid
him.
of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also a cartoon moment that he's like in a dream and like he goes to save someone and he like actually crushes them, but he's doing it
Oh,
like
yeah.
in his head he's like I know how much force to use, but when I
Mhm.
do that I'm like I just break them with my arms, but it's all psychological because he's like I'm just in a world where everything just breaks.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's to me that's so unrelatable.
Yeah,
Um Whereas Batman, I think, is a lot more relatable because he is human and he has a lot of challenges that he has to face.
Yeah,
I don't know.
how much does he have to go to compete with?
To compete with them because he's also on a no-kill
Yes.
conscience when he could, but it's so all the psychological and he's all about the rehabilitation. Like we
Yeah.
need to, yeah.
There's
So
a good Superman quote. It's in an Elseworld story, but he's like, someone mishears what he says about Batman. He's like, I pity Batman. So someone mishears as, oh, he looks down on Batman, but it's in
mhm.
reverse. It's Superman being like, he does this every day. He's like,
Mhm.
he goes out and fights
Yeah,
crazies every day. These killers, these monsters, and
yeah,
he can't turn it off.
yeah. Batman's rogues gallery, I feel like, is the most varied, and most of them they have psychological issues. They're not
Yes,
superhuman. They're
most of them
not.
don't have
There are
powers.
some. I mean, you talk about
Yes,
Clayface. You talk
Killer
about
Croc.
there are
Yeah,
some, but most of them they're just human. But they just have some psychological damage. I mean, Joker, Penguin, um, Catwoman. Like they're all just most of them are just human. They just have like they're messed up,
yeah.
and it's a lot of psychological stuff, which makes it very interesting
It's
to me.
it's like Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, kind of the same way. They're most of them have powers, but they're crazy, or they're wearing
Hmm.
animal costumes. If you look at most of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, and there's an Avengers story where they had to fight Spider-Man villains, and they just go, he does this every day, and he's been doing this since he's like 14.
Yeah,
So it's like this 14-year-old's going up against this guy with 8 arms or a Sandman. Like, how do you compete? Like, how does he?
yeah.
Why is he still doing this?
But I mean, Spider-Man does have some, like a couple, like just normal human
Yeah,
villains. But he has a lot more because you think of the Lizard, Venom,
they're all by accidents. A
Sandman.
lot of them are accidents, like him, where they're made by
Maybe
accident.
accidents, but they're
Yes.
still like
Oh, they're
because Spider-Man, like in terms of strength and durability, is almost like the super. I would say Hulk is probably the strongest, but
yeah.
Spider-Man's up there as far as like one of the strongest, and really probably has to restrain himself a
There's
lot
a
because he has a lot of power.
they did a story where Doc Ock switches minds with him, and Doc Ock goes to punch Scorpion, knocks his jaw off, and
Oh,
oh, Spider-Man's holding back this much this whole time,
yeah.
and I'm a regular guy, and he's been holding his punches,
Hmm.
and it's like this whole story like Doc Ock had to learn responsibility, but by being Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and has to learn how much he actually does to like save people, and it's actually a really cool story, and like it's one of those it's like Superman. A lot of people compare Spider-Man to Batman, but he's more of like you were saying to Superman, like ideal level and like their
Yeah.
stories, which is really fun. They just did a Superman Spider-Man crossover that came out like last week. They did 2 of them. Marvel did
Oh,
one,
wow.
DC did one, and it's very much all the stories are very much that, where both worlds get to see each character, and it's like they're really fun.
Mm.
But anyway, we've talked about for like 30 minutes about who's
About-
better,
yeah,
Marvel,
about that
DC.
one. So-
What's another topic we can discuss?
So now I threw out mine. Now that was just a random because I know I've heard that debate before the pre-trib versus post-trib. But is there some other kind of theological topic that's piques your guys' interest?
Well, I mean, I'll actually go with what I talked about. Can eternal security? Can you lose your salvation once you become a Christian?
Hmm. I've had this discussion with my brother. Now my brother's Baptist. We've had these arguments. So grow up Pentecostal, you kind of hear about people backsliding. There's a joke: you go to the back of the church in the back pew when you're backsliding. That's kind of I don't know if you've heard that joke.
I mean, maybe not, but I get why you say that though.
Yes, but that's kind of the joke. And my brother's like, well, you can. What did he say? I can't remember exactly what he said, but we were talking about baptism, and there's people that'll get baptized multiple times.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
At a
Hey, it's
certain.
docked right on time.
Hey, there we go.
Speaking of getting baptized multiple times. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, Doc. We're talking about theological debates. You're just in time.
Oh yeah.
We're on the eternal security versus
Yes.
the backsliding, can you backslide, that kind of.
But I can't
Yeah,
quite.
but-
I can't quite remember what he said, but the argument was could you? And he was very much like, no, you can't backslide. That was his argument, and for him it made no sense.
Okay, backslide is in lose your salvation, or just backslide is
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
Okay, do we want to start before we get too into this on just stating which side we fall on, all of
Yes,
us?
I think it should. Yes.
Because I am for once saved, always saved. I don't think you can lose your salvation once you have it.
I believe you can.
I'm with Crad. I believe you can. I think at a certain point, that's a conversation we have with God once you backslide. That's something you have to come back to. I always go back to the prodigal son.
And I'm with the once saved out.
2v2. Here we go. Tag team. Ding ding ding. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Okay. So I will open up the floor to either Kanaz or Dawk. Why do you think why you believe? Respectfully.
Go ahead, Doc.
I think the easiest verse. No one can pluck
Okay,
what
hold
has
on.
been given to me.
You're cutting in and out for
Okay,
me. I don't know if
it's you. You're hearing it too. Okay, I was about to say
okay,
something.
yeah. You're cutting in and out. I'm only getting about every third word.
Any better?
That works.
Kind
Maybe.
of. Try again.
Give me just a second.
Imagine us having technical difficulties
Yeah.
in the middle of an important topic.
It's not me. I didn't do it.
Shut up.
Is that any better?
Yes.
There we go.
Try again.
All right. So the thing is, like the verse of none can pluck from the hand what the Father has given me. The main, I mean, that's if none can pluck, you,
Mhm.
the Almighty's hand, it'd be plucked.
Okay, you're back to
You
kind of.
be sick.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you're kind of
Yeah,
back
no.
to every third word again.
Your third word.
Yeah.
I love these
Okay.
headphones.
Romans 8, I think. Romans 8, for I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, nor height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Speaking of Paul.
Yes. Yeah. Paul said
can't
that
remember.
in Romans chapter 8.
Let's say during the Lord's Supper.
Let's see. Of course, this was, I mean, I'm Baptist. So the churches that I grew up in taught this, and I've heard the debate on both sides. And just in my own scripture readings and the verses that I read,
Mhm.
how I've come to interpret them based on the teachings from both sides shows me more that once you're with God, you don't lose that. Like you can have troubled times. You can have times where you're not as close to God because you are making bad choices or whatever, but God is always there and he can redeem you. And he will come back if you like there's it's not a question of do you lose your salvation, it's how close are you to God in your journey once you've started that journey. And how much interaction, but you never lose it. And for those who claim to have followed God and then fall away, there's actually an interesting story of the guy who wrote Come Thou Fount, actually fell away from the faith. And then also a guy that was with famous evangelist. Why am I blanking on his name? Biggest evangelist. What's his name?
Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. There was a guy that was with Billy Graham like when he started, and then he eventually denounced the faith after that. Even though he started the whole movement with Billy Graham, he eventually
Hmm.
denounced the faith. And I hear those stories, and it just makes me question like what their faith was to begin with.
Hmm.
Was it, as I've heard the term, like fire insurance? Was it just I'm just doing this just to be safe, or was it like an actually truly like, did you even believe in the first place?
Hmm.
Or was it just like maybe an intellectual, but it wasn't in your heart, and then you just learned different things and fell away. So or were you just like raised in, a Christian home, and then you thought you were saved, and then but it turns out you really weren't. So, but in several of the verses that I've read, it's just the conclusion that I came to, and I'm trying to look for specific verses to make sure I don't quote something out of context. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Understand? Okay. From my side, somebody actually pointed out something to me the other day that even though I believed the way I believed in for a long time, based off what I was taught, and I think Nathaniel has a similar background in the Church of God as I did. So obviously we share a lot of similar beliefs. But somebody pointed something the other day, and I thought, well, that's an interesting argument for that. And you may hear random toys and stuff in the background. The cats are running around like
Dang
maniacs.
cats.
Yeah. Or things crashing, it's hard to tell. But if you look at the story of Lucifer, he was about as close to God as you can get. And yet he fell to temptation as well as taking a third of the angels with him. And if somebody is that close to God, who's been in the very presence of God, gets to the idea where he's greater than or is equal to God, and he's had all that responsibility and all that power, why can't someone like myself, you know, have the opportunity to do the same thing, to walk away from a faith that I've known for a long time and professed and believed in? Um, if somebody in that position can have that authority and deceive a third of the angels to go with him, it's almost like, well, if that can happen to him, then it can definitely happen to me. If I don't, grow my faith, progress in my faith, and renew my walk with him every day. Now, do I believe that if I sin, do I have an advocate with the Father? Yes. It talks about in the Bible, His grace is made new every morning. His grace is sufficient. But I do think if you don't have that free will to continue to grow in your faith and to go to and to go toward Him instead of if you don't have an opportunity to walk away, you don't really have basically like if you don't have that polar opposite of the good, and if there's not still an evil opportunity to do evil, then and have an opportunity to lose your faith, and it's kind of just you have the argument, well, you just do whatever you want to, you're still good. That's not the case. Obviously, I don't think y'all believe that. I don't think it's one of those things where, hey, once I got saved, I can do anything I want to, and
Oh no, not
I
at
think
all.
that's where
No.
y'all are coming from at all.
No,
Which unfortunately, there are some people that are like that, frankly.
Yes.
and there are.
Um, and that's
You call
not
that
correct.
antinomians.
Well, I mean,
uh,
and Paul preached against that in, I think it was Romans as well.
yeah, and I
Something.
believe he even
Yeah.
called himself at one point the chief of all sinners.
Yes.
Yes.
And he talked about, that I'm sure there were some things that Paul did and made decisions even after he became Paul, from Saul and had that Damascus Road experience that were a little abrasive to some people that they thought may have been sin. Because another place in the Bible talks about there are certain things that you feel that you have liberty in that your brother might not have liberty in. And if you cause him
Mhm.
to sin, or if you cause him to stumble, then you have in fact sinned. So there's that whole, well, what is sin? What level is there sin? So it's a very delicate argument, but that's one thing that really brought to me is, well, if Lucifer being so close to God, being the chief worshiper, right there with him, leading these choirs, leading this worship of God. If he can fall, then why can't I?
I would argue then, if that's the case, why can he not gain it back? If you can
Well,
go
because
back
he
and forth, why would he
right.
not be able to gain that back?
Well,
If
because
we can.
he created. Well, he did the ultimate sin. He compared himself to God. to
Okay, but
basically.
what about any of his fault? So I mean, this is once again, advocate.
No,
So,
no, I'm not
Yeah.
mad, not angry. You're not mad,
Yeah.
not angry. We're just
yeah.
talking. I know.
Because I would say the case was kind of flipped for me when it comes to humans versus angels, because angels had the connection at the beginning,
Mhm.
and then they lost it, and there was no chance of redemption. Whereas humans, except for Adam and Eve, were born into sin.
Right.
So we were cut off from the beginning, and now we have a chance to gain it back.
Right.
And I mean, you could look at that as a flip, and this isn't necessarily scriptural. This is just like, as this conversation is going on, this is
Mhm.
just kind of popping into my head. But whereas the angels had it and then lost it, and that was their only chance, we didn't have it, and now we can gain it, and that's our only chance.
Mhm.
And
That's what
once
you're
we
saying.
have it, we have it. And once they lost it, they lost it. So I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of that's just kind of a weird dichotomy that just popped into my head that,
No, no, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
it could be seen as a flip.
Yeah.
I guess I would say that with the angels, they with a third of the angels, they set themselves to follow essentially a false god,
Mhm.
and Lucifer became their god because he compared himself to God. Um, Whereas, like you said, we were born into a sinful nature. I think we all can agree on that, no matter what. We were all born into
Yeah.
a sinful nature because of the fall of Adam and Eve and the deceit that Lucifer wrought back then. Which, by the way, I always get a kick out of people when they automatically assume the fruit that she had was an apple. It doesn't say that in the Bible.
No, never.
My high school
Doesn't say.
teacher always said it was a pineapple.
I mean, it could have been a pineapple, could have been a pear, could have been an orange. We
I heard
don't
someone say it was a
Also-
pomegranate, so I don't know.
Pomegranate,
I've heard traditionally
whatever.
traditionally it was done as a fig.
A fig.
Could have been a
Yeah.
fig.
But that's why they
makes-
use fig leaves, because that was
Yeah.
the
That would make sense.
I mean,
That's the Jewish
that is an
tradition.
interesting theory, by the way. That's like a whole nother, it's a whole nother
Yeah, it's a
discussion.
whole another discussion.
Yeah, that goes to Jewish tradition, not
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. But point being, I agree with you there. We all came differently. We all came with a sinful nature and had the opportunity to be redeemed.
Hmm.
But I mean, it also talks about in Revelation, if possible, even God's very elect will be deceived. So if they're deceived in that moment, how are they deceived? How far does that deceivement go? And does that ultimately cause them to make bad decisions that separate them from God? So there's a lot back and forth there.
I would think you can be deceived,
Mhm.
and you make a mistake. Like everybody makes
Oh, yeah.
mistakes. That doesn't mean you lose your salvation, though.
Right.
I mean,
And that would mean that your salvation is predicated on something you did.
yeah.
I can see where you're coming from that as well.
You
But-
got to think.
Well, I was gonna say, is your salvation not originally predicated on something you did?
Not really. I mean, Jesus did everything. You just have to
Right.
accept it.
Well, that's the decision.
But it also says, I was, because he first loved me, and I'm gonna mess this. I don't have it word for it. I'm gonna mess this verse up. Doc, do you know what I'm talking about? See,
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the verse top of my head.
yeah,
I was like, the verses that
He
I was
loves
looking
because he
at-
first loved us. Essentially, we love because
Yeah.
he first loved us. Yeah,
yeah, what I was
we
looking
we wouldn't have even approached him if
Right.
if his spirit hadn't come to us first.
I agree with that. Yeah,
So in a way, that's kind of, yes. I mean, yes, we do have, like, this is where it's like it gets kind of touchy and weird, because yes,
the
we have
nuances.
free will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the nuances, because yes, we were given free will. Yes. Yeah. Because then you get into the, doctrine of election too, and
Mhm.
it's a whole nother
that's
topic.
that's a whole nother can of worms.
But because then if we, anyway, there's a whole
That
nother
does,
thing.
I mean, that does play into it a little bit, the doctrine of election. We can't
Yeah.
get away with.
So, but then,
away from
I mean, which I do believe in election, if you've been elected, then you're going to be saved. And then once again, you're not going to lose the salvation because you're already elected. So
Yeah.
it's combining the two things, but they work together. And
Nathaniel,
in
I've
my
noticed
beliefs.
you've been really quiet on this.
Oh no,
You
you're good.
haven't said much.
Sometimes I just let people start talking, so I talked a little bit.
I was gonna
Before
say I
Doc-
don't
Doc-
want just me and
Oh,
the
no, you're
strangers to
good.
just kind of lead the
You're-
conversation.
no,
We've
you're
been kind of
good.
been going back and forth with each other a little bit.
No, you're good. I always go back to you're talking about being deceived. Not that Peter was deceived, but he denied Christ. But Peter,
He wasn't technically saved yet, though, I would say.
yes, but he built everything with Peter afterwards,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Peter felt bad for what he did afterwards. So that's predicated on him being saved after that and being sorry for what he did. I think there's a couple stuff we've brought up where it's like we're not going to go the full answer till we get to heaven, because the multiple people, because Pentecostals believe one way, Baptists believe another. About like I had this go with my brother. How can you get baptized multiple times? Is it? Because I'm trying in my mind, I'm trying to think where I've read where someone's been baptized multiple times. Like I'm trying.
Okay. If you want to get into baptism as a Baptist, it depends on what you think
Under the title.
baptism
Yes.
is and what it signifies.
Yes.
Because I would say you can get baptized multiple times, because baptism is nothing more than just a statement of I am a Christian. It has nothing to do with your salvation. It has nothing to do with you being saved or earning a salvation. It is saying, hey, I'm saved, and I want everyone to know. And that's how I see baptism, and you can do that as many times as you want, ultimately.
Right.
Ironically, I think we might all agree on that. That's
A public statement of an inward
faith.
Yeah.
showing.
And I think there's some people that get that confused.
Yeah. There
Where-
are, because people think you have to be baptized to be saved, and you
Yes.
don't.
There are some people that do. Yeah, I agree
think
with you.
there's been a couple people where I don't think they've been baptized, but that's your own decision. That's something you feel like you need to do. But I think there's some people that I've known that have fallen away and have not come back. Does God still love them? Yes.
Yes.
But when you make that choice, when you walk away, whatever your reasoning was, whether it's something in the church that you didn't like, something happened to you, you have to have, God wants you to have your personal choice to come back. He would want you to come back willingly. That's why we were given free will. We are given the choice to love him in our own way naturally versus being told we have to love him. I think that's something that people confuse, because there's people that are shown in church, here's what the church is, here you're going to be in church, and they aren't shown other ways to love Christ outside of church.
In that case, so did they truly have a faith, or did they just have what their parents told them?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know people in my own family who grew up in church, and at a certain point they're like, no, I'm done. Because they were shown was church.
They weren't shown true faith.
Yes. And I have
yeah.
a family member, not saying that my family tried showing them love outside of church. It's just they had a lot of stuff they didn't agree with the church. So they left. And now they're out in the world. We still love them. We love them to come back, but that's their personal choice.
I'd say, like, there are those people who are churchy and not saved, and if they leave, it brings to question to me, like, were they ever saved in the first place? Because, like, there's the passage in the Bible where, people will come to me and say, oh, look what I did for you, and I saved these people, and I did this, and I spread your name around, and then Jesus said, be gone from me.
Apart from me,
I
never knew you.
Yeah. And that makes you wonder, like, once again, like, what was behind it? Were they really saved in the first place? Like, was there a relationship, or was it a to-do list?
Yeah. Or are they doing it for clout or for anything
Like you
that.
see in Acts, was it Simon the sorcerer, where he got saved, or I'll say he got saved. He was in the church. He goes, he sees them putting on the Holy Spirit. He goes, hey, I can do good. Let me do this. Let me make some money off it. We can make some money off
I think he was trying to basically buy the power to do that.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which obviously was not the whole reason, the purpose for that at all.
Right. And so then he said you never hear anything from him again after that, after he's rebuked and told to go away. You have too much bitterness in your heart and stuff. So
here's what I love about this argument either way, at the end of the day. If we all right here make it to heaven, we're not going to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
We're not going to care at that point. I mean, we might, just for fun, be like, "Hey, Jesus, so who was right in that whole,
right.
debate?" But yes, I mean, I could see where you can almost go into a grace versus works salvation there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think they really work hand in hand in a way. Obviously, you
They do.
cannot do enough good to be saved. You can't.
Correct. Yeah.
You cannot.
It's
You cannot go feed the poor 1,000 times and that's going to buy your ticket to heaven. Or you can't give away all you possess and that's automatically going to get you a get out of hell free card. But it's one thing that we've been studying a lot lately is the book of James. Really powerful book.
Yeah.
Only 5 chapters long, but
Yeah.
contains a lot of just rich resource material. And one of the things that he talks about very prominently throughout the book is the use of faith. And he talks about, faith without works is dead. And I can show you your faith by your works.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that theme of, grace versus works or grace with works, which I think, like I said, it takes both. Grace obviously comes from the Father to us, works being we accept that gift that has been given to us by the Father through Jesus Christ for the remission of our sin.
I was like bringing up James, like with the faith plus works. I was like, works, like you could say Paul used works also in the thing, but instead of using the word works, he used fruit.
Yeah,
because the works, it's the motive behind the works. If you're doing the works to try to get with God or to be saved, then that's worthless. That's like with the whole, like in Philippians, where it's, I have like great pedigree thing, and it's all filthy rags. But if you're doing the works out of the faith, that's the fruit. It's the fruit. It's not, you're not doing the works to make the faith. You're doing the works because of the faith.
Yes.
Right. Because of this faith, this thing you put your life to. It reflects who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, it's a lot more than just, in my opinion, it's a lot more than just saying a prayer one time. A lot of things. You have people that, while saying a prayer and accepting Jesus is important, I think it's a transformational work in your life that other people can see. And that's what it talks about, the fruits of the Spirit, the Beatitudes, things like that. It becomes evident not only to other people, but to yourself, that there has been a legitimate change taking place. Like even today, I get really amused sometimes when, we see these big Hollywood people. I mean, perfect case in point, Kanye. Oh my goodness.
Or the more topical one, Russell Brand. Did you see the video
Well,
of him?
I was going to say those are kind of polar opposites for me a little bit because Kanye, when he first looked like he had gotten saved, was making this cool Christian, if you will, album, Jesus Walks and all this stuff, and now he's gone absolutely off the flipping deep end. But then you have other celebrities and stuff and people whose lives are out in public that you can actually start to see take real shape. And like right now, for instance, another one that's really topical is Theo Vaughn. He's been doing some interesting things lately, questioning some things in his life. Not saying he's saved yet. I don't know. I don't know the condition of his heart. Only God does. But you can kind of see somebody's planted something in there that's starting to make him question, hey, there's something more to this thing than just, fans and fame and my podcast and, celebrity. Something inside of him is yearning for something deeper in his life. And it's kind of exciting to see things like that. So, and be a part of that story where they walk it out in a lot more public way than you and I do in private, obviously. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really on the topic, but just I thought just brought it up.
But funny enough, my pastor was talking on some of this Wednesday, and he was talking. There's gonna be Christians who open up their Bible every once in a while. Might open it once a week, or they might open it like they have a good stretch where they're reading it, but then they stop. They do the stop and start. Or there's some Christians, they just go to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and that's they don't think about it afterwards. They don't open the Bibles. Like that's their only time. And will those people get to heaven? Like it depends on the condition in your heart, and it depends on your walk and how you and God have that discussion. Now, I think a lot of people get taught you need to read every day. You need like you get told like you got to read and pray every day and everything. And I've had a discussion with a young adult group. One of the ladies, she's like, in the morning, like what do you do when you work out 4 in the morning? Are you getting up at 5 and you're reading for 20 minutes, but you're only reading for 20 minutes a day? Or maybe you read a little bit that day and maybe you read more that night? He's like, because nowhere in the Bible it says you need to X amount you need to read. It doesn't say you need to read an hour a day. I think that's something that you need to talk to God about. Like, where should I read? What, like, how long should I read? Now, if you're taking 10 minutes, I think you could do a little more than just 10 minutes. But I like in the like. What are you gonna say?
I was like, that's a personal conviction thing.
Yes.
People should be doing.
Yes.
And some people find it harder to do. The enemy works against us, and we work against ourselves. And the enemy being, I think there's all 3 parts of the enemy. Are the enemy, as in Satan, and the spiritual done, ourselves, our body, our flesh that doesn't want to get up. It's like body, mind, and spirit. Everything is working against us because it's, as Paul says, when will I get rid of this body of death?
Yeah, like for me, when in the morning I get up at 4 in the morning for work, so it's like how much.
Bless you.
Yeah, I know. How much time like do I want to spend in the morning? I try to at least read a chapter in the morning. I might listen to something, and I'll read more at night, where I have more time, where I could have more quiet time. I can have time to think about it. I think about what I read that morning, but like I have more time at night where I could meditate on. I could really, I don't have to worry about a time crunch of like how much do I want to read. Like I might read a little more. I might reread what I read and read a couple more after that. But again, that's your own personal decision, your own personal walk, and your dedication, like what Doc was saying, and your own discernment, or not discernment. What's the word I'm looking for?
Devotion.
Huh?
Devotion.
Conviction.
Yeah, conviction. That's where I was looking for. I was getting one word confused for the other. Is there any more topics we want to talk about besides this? We've gone on.
So real quick, I want to add something.
Yes.
That's all right. So obviously, I think we all in the room here agree that eventually one day we will all stand before God.
Yes.
One way or the other. So one of my favorite lines, I actually said this to somebody today. I said, it always kind of amuses me when I hear somebody say something to the effect, well, only God can judge me. Like, that should worry you.
Of all people, that should, like...
Yeah, it's like, hey, you think it's bad if you feel judgment from me or somebody else, but if he's saying only God can judge me, God, the perfect Father, Creator, yeah, that should bother you a little bit because he has a lot higher standards than anybody else on this world.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's so sad. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
That was it. We've picked like the 2 most long-winded topics to do. So I don't know if we want to do another one like this at some point, or do we want to talk about anything else? Do you want to do any other topics?
I don't know. I was going to say the verses that I mentioned earlier was from the high priestly prayer, where it says, this is going back to the first part, when my account had the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But in John 17, when he's praying over the disciples and everything, I have manifested your name to the people whom you gave me out of the world. Yours they were, and you gave them to me, and they kept your word. Now they know that everything that you have given me is from you, for I have given them the words that you gave me, and they have received them and have come to know in truth that I came from you. And they have believed that you sent me. I am praying for them, And I am not praying for the world, but for those who you have given to me, for they are yours. All mine are yours, and yours are mine, and I am glorified in them. And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, keep them in your name, which you have given me, that they may be one, even as we are one. While I was with them, I kept them in your name, which you have given me. I have guarded them, and not one of them has been lost, except the son of destruction, that the scripture may be fulfilled. That was really good. The word stops. I mean, it keeps going. I've given them your word, and the world hated them because of that. They're not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. Or that you're not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them in truth, and your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world, and for their sake I consecrate myself, that they also may be sanctified in truth. I do not ask for these only, but also for those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, just as you, the Father, are in me, and I in you, and they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Yeah, it does keep going, but that's where it says it's like God, the Lord gave. That kind of goes into the election part, as if there's only one that was lost, was the son of destruction already. Filling
I was referring to Judas. Yeah.
Right. That was just
Amen.
I just wanted to go back, and this is
you're good.
Since I wasn't trying to just rehash from the.
No, I get what you're saying. You were trying to clean up earlier. I don't know what in the world was going on with your mic when you first joined.
It's the AirPod mics don't, for some reason, they act up, so I just clicked it over to the.
Dang it, Apple.
Where I'm listening to through the AirPods, but I'm speaking into the computer.
Dang
that
it,
made a big difference.
It, Apple.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a topic: Apple versus Android. Go ahead and go. No,
Android.
Yeah, I was Android, and then I got Apple, and there's a lot of stuff I prefer on Android, like file formatting and able to get files off your phone. Because Apple, whenever you do it, it's not organized. It's just in random files.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck trying to pull something off your phone if you need it. Also, Samsung had better music formatting and everything.
So real quick, my buddy, the Pastor Painter, which of course we've all interviewed here.
Yes.
I am in charge of mixing his audio mixes for his paintings. Now I am anyway. And so I had to do a couple more for a painting he's going to do this coming weekend. And let me tell you, it is a pain in the rear trying to sync files from a PC to an iPad. So they're not very happy when they talk to each other. It took me, I'd forgotten how I did it because I hadn't done it in a while, and it probably took me almost a day trying to figure out how to get the stupid thing to sync. Well, I finally did, but I'm like, come on, you had to download this app and you had to do this and connect this. I'm like, come on, guys, it's so freaking stupid.
Yeah. Apple is way too exclusive. The security, you could go either way on this, whether it's positive or negative, but in my experiences, the security is just way too much. It's so hard to get into anything, and if you lose your Apple ID password or whatever, you can't even reset. Because I have an iPad, and I've dealt with at a couple jobs ago. I was kind of not the real IT guy, but the guy people would talk to because our IT guy was in another state.
He's a Temu IT guy.
And so we mostly had PCs, but there were a few people that were loved their Apples, and I hated working on their stuff because it was such a pain. And then we got a bunch of iPads, and trying to get them all set up for a business it was such a pain, where if we could have just got a bunch of tablets, it would have been so much easier. I understand a little bit the appeal, but when you get an Apple, everything you do has to be Apple. Otherwise, it's an absolute pain in the rear end to do anything else.
Yeah, no. Well, have you guys heard what's going on with the new iPhones? The batteries, they're finding, like, if they die, they just won't turn on. if you lose charge, it takes it took them 3 days for the phone to charge back up.
Jeez.
Like it's something wrong with the batteries for the new iPhones. So someone says they had to have it keep plugging it into it was 100%.
That hurts my heart.
And I'm like,
yeah,
no, like especially if it's a new iPhone. It's not like it's an older iPhone.
There's things that work the glitches out. There's also people that will say stuff, and the internet's great for giving great information on everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything's true.
Exactly.
Everything's true.
It's not like it was what Samsung was one where people were reporting they were exploding, but I don't know how big of a case that was, or it was just like a select like number of them. But everyone was making it sound like this certain Samsung, every phone was exploding. And I'm like, I feel like that would have been more in the news if whatever Samsung it was would be exploding.
That's all phones. The battery after time expands. And
it can. Yeah.
Oh no, the how they were talking.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a more recent one. But yes, phone batteries do expand.
It's like that's all phones though.
Yes.
I remember one phone I had to get a new phone because it finally expanded. Like I was holding it out until however long, and It finally expanded too much to where it messed up something on the screen.
It pressed something, and
yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, it's time to get a new one.
It also depends on your like style preference. Like, I for a while always liked Samsung because I liked how, not that it was a brick, but I liked that it had heft versus holding an Apple where I felt like there was nothing there at a certain point.
Yeah.
You see, you're too young to have had the actual bricks.
Yes, yeah, the Nokias,
let's see. I
Kia
started
Sierra.
with track
Kia
phone.
Sarah.
Number of those. Yeah.
And I think my first smartphone was an LG. But I eventually have Google Pixel now, and I like my Pixel. I've had 2 Pixels. This is my second Pixel, so.
I got an iPhone. I don't remember which iPhone it is, but it's worked fine for me. I had Androids for a while, and I just got fed up because I was like every year I was replacing it because I was buying. Well, to be fair, I was buying used Samsung.
Yeah.
But it was just a constant problem, and they weren't like old ones. Like they're like a couple models behind. And like
that's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
so here's your stupid dad joke for the evening. For some reason, it triggered me when you said you had a Pixel phone. So, you've had 2 Pixels. Wow, that's really low screen resolution. You might want to get that checked.
There you go.
Well, yeah.
So I had a couple food ones on there. I said Coke versus Pepsi.
Pepsi.
So
unless it's vanilla, then it's Coke.
Coke versus Pepsi, Doc. We're not talking about Dr. Pepper.
I don't know, man. That orange cream Coke's pretty good.
So for a while, I was always Pepsi.
I'd argue Mountain Dew, but anyway.
Yes, I was always the Pepsi
guy. That's a Pepsi product, so.
Yeah, I didn't like Coke. I didn't like the taste. I didn't like the film it left in my teeth.
Yeah.
But when I started working at Subway, all they had was Coke. They didn't have Pepsi products. So it was always Coke. So I got used to Coke. And I had a Pepsi the other day, and I'm like, this doesn't taste great. I just remember it being. Like it just I flip.
Yeah. If it's the plain, just regular Pepsi versus regular Coke, I go Pepsi. But Pepsi had a vanilla version for a while. I don't think they do anymore because I haven't seen it. I think it's in
select markets.
But vanilla Coke is definitely better than vanilla Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like I will admit to that. But when it comes to just the plain, I'd rather have a Pepsi. Anybody remember the Holiday Spice Pepsi?
Yes.
It was good, man.
They had a salted caramel one that was actually pretty good.
Ooh. That I don't remember.
You're right. If I have to choose between the two, probably go with Coke. But I prefer the Mexican Coke and the glass bottles.
Yes, where it's made with actual cane sugar and not whatever else they use.
Well, they did that with Pepsi for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
and Mountain Dew.
Apparently, they're making naked Mountain Dew. It's kind of like these. It's kind of like these naked Cheetos that I have.
Yeah.
They get rid of all it's naked of all
the coloring.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it just looks like.
But is it really Mountain Dew if it doesn't have the bright?
Exactly.
Color?
I don't. But if
it doesn't have the radioactive color.
Yeah. The nuclear.
The yellow pie is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
You might as well just be drinking straight sugar.
Exactly.
Drinking Mountain Dew.
It's caffeine, apparently. I found that out recently. Mountain Dew is the highest caffeine of all the regular
Really?
sodas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
By a lot.
where is it? I
It's been
had
like that for a while. Yeah.
I found a protein soda. I thought it was regular soda. I looked up what caffeine. It was 200 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, this isn't soda at this point. That's
It's an energy drink.
yeah, but it's just
Bro,
protein. But it
sorry,
said
what
Let's
is
say
that?
Alani.
it was in the soda aisle, so that's what threw me off. I wasn't thinking about it.
I one
Yeah,
time
too.
drank so many Mountain Dew voltages in one day, I thought I was having a heart attack. Like,
Ooh.
no cap. Like, it was
I,
bad. Like, that was
Yeah.
back in the day when I did not read labels, like when I
Yeah,
was a teenager.
yeah,
I was like,
you
I think
don't
I was
care.
21. I was 21 and I was moving
Voltage.
into my dorm room at college.
Where you're
And I
just
just
downing
was
them.
slamming back Mountain Dew voltages, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was like, this is
That's the blue
ridiculous.
one, right?
I work in kids camp.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't-
like the blue purple one.
Oh, when you work kids camp, they don't tell kids, no, you can't have more than one. I saw a kid have like an armful of them, like 8. I was like, oh no. I saw him open 2 and was like drinking them like this. I'm like, okay, you're done. You're cut off with 2.
That's going to be a bad day right there.
I was like, you're cut off. You're not even in my cabin, but I'm still cutting you off.
We have
My
a
kid's got a
commenter, by the
drinking
way. He
problem.
commented a while ago. Hi,
Oh.
Diegos.
Oh, do we have a comment? I don't
Yeah.
have the. Was it on YouTube?
We got a comment.
Was it on YouTube? I didn't have it
YouTube,
pulled
yeah.
up.
YouTube.
You know, we're live at the moment. Just
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I think that was like right after you brought up, I think, Coke versus Pepsi. So.
There we
Yeah,
go.
because there was nothing on there earlier.
This
I
is
checked.
tough.
Tough to what, Diego? Which one is it?
Are you talking about pizza? Because there are some tough pizzas out there. That's for
Exactly.
sure.
The other one was McDonald's versus Burger King.
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
Unless it's fries, then it's McDonald's. And the
Uh,
McChicken.
I don't know.
So I used to be
Fries and McChicken, McDonald's wins. Burger King.
I
everything
used to
else.
be Burger King all the way because I like their fries. But the Burger Kings around here are really bad, so I say McDonald's.
I'll go for that.
So-
Like service wise.
no, it's not service wise. It's just the
No,
quality of the food.
Or
Whatever,
quality
they,
of
whatever
food.
they do, and then I go other places.
The only-
The Burger King's better. I don't know what it is. Just the ones around here are bad.
The only thing that McDonald's is good for is the McGriddle and the
And the
fries.
Yes.
McGriddle, the
nuggets.
fries, and the McChicken.
Their nuggets are. It depends on when you go. They're fine. Burger King used to have
But-
really good nuggets. They also used to have Surge. So
Surge.
they got rid of it, unfortunately.
Well, Burger King had the better fries like a long time ago, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
they changed
Yeah.
the way they did them, and then now
Yeah.
They're too.
I don't like their
they're
fries
too soft.
anymore.
They're not crunchy enough.
they're thicker, and they don't get crispy crunchy enough.
No.
So McDonald's has better fries now.
Oh yeah.
I'll admit that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's fries with a frosty.
Yes. Hey, at least Wendy's.
McDonald's fries with frosting.
Well, the McFlurry machine has to work there. Crad.
That's
Yeah.
that frosting. So I'm saying
It doesn't
go
even have to
Wendy's
be
and
frosty. It
McDonald's.
could just be their ice cream cone.
Oh, it's when it works. What you think it's like a joke at one place? No, that's like multiple places for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what
That's
it is.
because of the they don't want to pay the extra money for the people that do the parts because they get
By the
somebody
way-
in contract with them.
As somebody who has broken down a frosty machine, that's an interesting thing. Just saying. Been there, done that.
Really.
Mixed the frosties.
It's a big spindle.
Yeah.
hmm
Just a chiller and a spindle. That's about it.
Exactly. But no, we don't want to pay people extra to fix it. Nope. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
So stupid. What was my other one? I had
Okay.
another-
One more debate:
Yes.
to drink or not to drink alcohol as a Christian.
I say no. I have people that I've known that think it's okay. And I had to ask them why. And they're like, "Well, I like it." That was their only argument, is that I like it. They didn't back it up at all.
No.
At anywhere
I
in the
mean,
Bible.
what?
I'm like, oh, so
Lost
you're
in
just
there,
like this
Nicole.
thing versus actual theological reasons why a Christian shouldn't drink.
What was Jesus's first public miracle?
Yes, it was turning water into wine.
The
Or,
best
I'm-
wine they had all night.
Yes, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I personally don't drink because I got family members that drink, and it's been a problem for them. That's why I
Oh, I get that. I get that.
So whenever I have this discussion, I always say I personally don't do it for X reason.
Yes.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I talked about with Paul, saying
Mhm.
everything is permissible, but not everything is wise. Pretty
Yes.
much, like
So
you don't do everything in front of everybody.
yeah.
Actually, I have changed my view on this one over the years. My most famous example for this happened to me personally was I happened to be very hardcore. You don't drink basically for a long time, and then we had somebody that came to our church, a very anointed young lady, led worship beautifully. I mean, Holy Spirit fell down, just beautiful, great, wonderful thing. And so one day I was out in the store and I ran into her and her husband, and I happened to look down in her cart and I saw some alcoholic beverages. Nothing like really hardcore or anything, but just something I knew had alcohol in it. And I didn't say anything to her or her husband about it, but immediately in my heart started judging her. Like I could tell a turn took place within me. And I held on to that for a while until God Himself convicted me of it and said, listen, as it talks about in the Bible, there's a way if you have something against a fellow believer, a brother and sister of Christ, this is how you handle it. And the first step is you go to that person and you say, hey, I've got an alt against you. So it says an alt in the Bible. Basically, I have an issue with you. Something is going on. We need to rectify and talk about. And I had to do that. I messaged this person on Facebook, as I recall, and I'm like, hey, you have no idea. This is an issue. I explained to them this, and I said, I felt convicted. God convicted me of this, and I feel like I need to apologize to you. And let me tell you, when you handle what's beautiful about God and about true Christian people is if you handle it the right way, generally it goes very well because this person actually respected me more because I came to them as I did and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, for the way I'm not trying to point to me in the story. My point being is God convicted me over that specific issue, kind of like talking about what they do in the privacy of their own home if they do not feel it's a sin. Now, I do think you can drink to excess where it is sinful,
Yes.
where you get slapped
Yeah.
drunk. And some people are more given to that. They have addictive personalities, and whether it's drinking or drugs or whatever, it can get to the point where it's either very hard something for them to overcome. And kind of like he said, he has somebody in his family that might be affected by that. So I can understand that. But as far as like if you want to do that in the privacy of your own home, I've come to the point where that's not up for me to make that decision for you. Whether I do it or not, that's up between you and God, basically.
Yeah.
So,
I do believe drinking is okay. And I do believe like some people will say, oh, it wasn't real wine or whatever that Jesus turned, from the water that Jesus did in that miracle. And I would argue that it was because like just in the context of everything, if you look at it, it was actually alcoholic. And because in the story it mentions like this is like people normally, use the worst tasting wine at the end, and you have like the best tasting. You saved it for the end. It's weird. And then I also think like at the Last Supper, um, you know, that could very likely have been wine as well. But
by the
it's
way, sorry, go ahead, finish off.
but it's don't get drunk. Don't drink in
Right.
excess. Drink in moderation. Don't if you and then to Nate's point, if the drinking if you have that kind of addictive personality and the drinking is going to lead you to getting drunk, then don't do it. Like you can put limits on yourself. I had a youth pastor back in the day, and he said you can drink, and I have I have full reign to drink, but as a youth pastor, I choose not to because I'm going to set the example, and I don't want to set a bad example. Say it's okay, and then have one of the youth think, oh, it's okay, and then they end up getting drunk and doing something stupid. So he was setting the example for someone, and it goes to that verse of, if you can do anything, but if what you're
Weaker
going to
brother.
do is going to cause someone else to stumble, then you probably shouldn't do it, right? So,
So,
Go back to Romans with the weaker
yeah,
brother.
two
yeah,
things there, real quick. I'll point out one funny thing. So you're giving the example. of how basically the master of ceremonies or master that thinks that, hey, you waited till the very end to bring out the best. So I thought if it didn't say that Jesus had turned water into wine, my response to that was, well, you're already slap drunk. You don't know if it's water or not at this point.
Well,
Yeah.
that was why they always waited. They saved the worst
But
tasting stuff till
yeah,
the end because they were already drunk. It didn't matter.
nobody cares.
So
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's always kind of amused me. Like, well, you could be so slap drunk you think anything is wine at this point.
yeah,
But no, but of course it did say Jesus did turn water into wine. But
yeah.
second one is I do think you have to have a higher standard if you are in leadership of a church,
Yes.
or because you live out your Christian walk a lot more publicly than does the average, believer or saint or whatever you want to call them. And so I think that's why you don't see, or it's preached against in particular, um, more often by pastors and things, because they do have to live to a certain higher standard, and people that are in that kind of position will be judged higher for
Oh
that
yeah.
by God, for decisions they may have, like you said, affected somebody else's life, whether that be the drinking or whatever. I can't really think of another good example right now, but basically they have to kind of be set apart to live a different life than a regular lay person, because of that. So interesting discussion though. What about you, Doc?
Well, I mean, I could take the full Baptist view and say no drinking at all, but I don't believe that at all. Um, I would say drinking's okay to a point. Getting drunk is the big thing.
Yeah.
That's what it talks about in scripture. Don't get drunk. Now, do some people take it to the thing
To the extreme.
to flee to extreme with flee all appearances of evil, which is biblical, but it goes back to the weaker brother in Romans where it talks about, so if by going out and drinking or having the drink and having people know about it, is that going to be causing my brother to stumble, or brother or sister to stumble? Is that causing them to be either A, judgmental, or B, oh, well, if this person is further along in their walk and they're doing it, I can do it and I'm good. But then they go off and end up going off the deep end.
You also
So
have to work.
I choose not to drink most of the time. I mean, I'll have a drink occasionally, but nothing.
Yep.
I mean, I had my phases when I did a lot. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was Nate's age, yeah.
So you also think about optics as well.
Yeah.
You don't go like if you are a Christian that fully believes it's fine to drink, you have no obstacle, you don't have anybody sitting in your life that has an addictive problem, you probably don't want to go down to the local biker bar. And because you might see somebody on your way there or coming
that
out of
goes to
there
your
that goes to
church, and you're
church
just
with you.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, there's also the optics of how it looks as well, not just the decision whether you drink or not or where you go.
That reminds me. So my mom likes to make beer bread occasionally, which it cooks out, but she'll make it. She's like, "Can you go to the alcohol section get some?" And I'm like, "Why don't you just go do it?" Like we're both here. She's like, "Well, I don't. What if Pastor sees me?" It's like, what is the difference? He's gonna see me. What's the difference? Like,
Yeah,
you can justify it.
Yeah. No, I've got a story about that too. So back when I was younger, probably Nate's age, I was in the army, around 20, and 21. And I was always the DD. I didn't believe in drinking. I didn't want to drink any of that. So I was hanging out with some friends, and we every Friday we went to this club and we shot pool. They drank, I didn't. I drove them home. Whatever. It was fine. We had fun. But there was one night where it was one of the new guys, and he was like, and he had a beer in his hand. He's like, "Oh, I want to run to the bathroom, but could you watch my drink for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you just set it right there. I'll keep my eye on it." He said, "No, no, no, no. Can you hold it? I don't want anyone messing with it. No, you put it right there. I will keep my eye on it. No one will mess with it." And then it was about that time I saw out of the corner of my eye on the other side of the room one of the other ones with their phone up, ready to take a picture of me holding the the beer in my
Nice.
hand.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it just for optics, I just think that's, I don't know, that seems. My doing is more not for optics. It's saying it's like, okay, if it's like I genuinely don't want that. Like I have friends
Yeah.
that have had issues with that, so I don't want to be. I don't want to be the one that's causing them to do that. Not that I don't have the freedom to. I just choose not to.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it just depends on. That's something you pray about, like with anything, you pray about it.
Yeah.
Because again, there's many arguments you can take with this. There's like in the passage you talk about the feast. You got the story of Noah, where he gets drunk at a certain at a certain point. Like there's that argument people like to bring up. So like it depends on how you feel about it and praying about it. Like again, if someone offered it to me, I'd probably say no. But again, I don't have a need to drink. I don't like alcohol. That's never something I like being around. It's not. But I'm not going to judge someone for it.
Yeah.
Or if I saw a Christian drinking it, like with Crad, you might get a little judgmental. But again, I don't want to judge them fully because what if they're judging me for something else as well? So it's like, I think there's a couple arguments we've brought up. It's something Christians will argue about to the end of time. It's just the responses of it, how it's handled and everything. But it's funny, the small things we get in arguments about in church versus outside church. It's a little funny, but then it's like, why are we arguing about this?
By the way, side note, we've totally broken. Too bad. SillyBoy's not here because we can tell him we've talked about religion now. Three things you don't talk about: politics, pizza, and religion.
There you go. There you go. That's what
kind of religion isn't really this because of the pizza party thing.
Yeah,
because we were talking about religion. That was kind of a thing in the thing where Christian. That's this Christian stuff we're talking about.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Let me tell you about them. No,
exactly. But we might have to do another one of these because we've picked all the long-winded topics to do. Which
that's not all the long-winded topics.
No, it's not. But we picked some of the bigger long-winded topics.
Couple of them, yeah.
Yes.
So,
but
yeah. No, I think we should do this again.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy stuff like this, because they're putting down in the comments other topics we could discuss, or maybe your thoughts on some of the stuff we discussed, especially in our Discord at the Pizza Party Discord. Links are down below. I didn't see anyone responses in it. I made a note in my head to post earlier about it so people could respond, and I didn't see anything that I know of. I didn't even see the YouTube chat comment. I had the live stream pulled up and I didn't see it right away. For whatever reason, I had the YouTube live stream pulled up last time, like a thing off to the side in OBS, and it's not here now, so I have to add that plugin back in. Thanks OBS.
Yeah, thanks OBS.
Yeah, thanks OBS. So consider following us at Pizza Party Pod on most social media platforms. Mainly, it's just YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's really all. I don't care about all the other ones. TikTok, you can do that one. But other than that, that's about it. Doc, where can they find you?
I'm on TikTok. That's really where you can find me.
Yeah. And you're starting TikTok. You're starting your new book, or you have started your new book.
Yeah, and I have a book on prayers from the Reformation.
Nice.
I'm in Kings in the Bible part.
Kings in the Bible. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta start another book in between. Just do 2 books. See which one finishes first. Alternate days.
Well, I mean, I alternate days with the Bible and the book.
There you go. That works. Strange, where can I find you? Or are you still kinda? I know you're talking about
still everything's kind of on hold right now. So here and then also occasionally streaming with Sketchbird and Hufflesnitch and SillyBoy if we can ever get him back on. Christian Assassin. But last night we actually Sketch and Huffle and I were able to stream, so that was fun. And I think Huffle was streaming as we were recording this. So
nice.
There we go.
I think I saw a ping for Twitch.
Yeah,
that she was doing that. So nice. Crad, what are you working on?
Still at Mary Harton Ministries. I am preaching not this coming Sunday or next, but on the 17th I'll be preaching. So there should be some video from that coming.
Heck yeah. So did you talk to JJ if he was going to the camp?
I looked it up. I didn't talk to him because I didn't want to ruin it, but I did look it up, and it is him.
It is? So, okay, so it's funny, because Wednesday they were announcing stuff for kids camp, and it wasn't JJ on the flyer. Yeah. But on the website, it's JJ. So I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I think it is him. I really do.
That's funny.
So I didn't want to give it. I really thought about asking him, but I didn't want to give it away. So I think it is him.
You should try tagging along. You can see me get tortured.
Right. I mean, that'll make my week.
And make sure to record it for us.
Yes.
We'll do a live long distance pizza party podcast.
There's no internet there. There's no cell service.
I'll figure it out, man. It's fine.
There's no
signal boosters.
Starlink is for.
Get a satellite.
There you go.
Yeah,
there is satellite because there is Starlink because my phone will ping occasionally when I'm by the lake.
See, there you go.
We'll do by the lake. There you go. No. You can find me at ft_fast talk Strange, I did find some of that candy you were talking about the other.
Oh, the Bubs?
Yeah, the Bubs. I was at Five Below. I haven't tried it yet. I got the banana toffee. That's all this This is all the Five Below had was just the banana toffee. Nothing else. Just a wheelbarrow full of banana toffee. I was like, so either it's the worst one or.
Because there's lots of flavors.
Yeah, all they had was the banana toffee.
It's Five Below, so
that is fair. It is Five Below. Yeah, so that's going on, and of course these naked Cheetos that I just had that I found. The Doritos are fine. The Cheetos ones are a little weird. It's not even like I didn't even notice which ones it was. I thought it was just like the regular cheddar one or the regular ones, but no, it was the Flamin' Hot. So, that I think that's about it.
You got a nice little surprise when you took a bite.
Yeah, I was like, why are these spicy? Oh, they're the Flamin' Hot. Dang it. So I didn't think about it. I just grabbed the bag off. I was up getting gas, and I just saw it, and I just grabbed it. I didn't think about it being anything else. When you see Cheetos, what do you think? You usually don't think Flamin' Hot. You think the regular ones. I mean, Flamin' Hot is
that's like all of their merchandise anymore is Flaming Hot.
That is fair. Regular. But it's not really on the bag. It's only Flamin' Hot says right here. There's nowhere else saying Flamin' Hot. So that's what threw me off. But yeah, there's three things we don't talk about. Literally, this episode: pizza politics and what's another P or another word? I had
pianos.
Pianos. There we go. Pianos. That's the next one for next one. We can talk about musical instruments.
There you go.
So yeah, this is episode 64. Which I fixed for this one. Yeah, the two guitars. I fixed.
I saw that. That was cool.
Because this is gonna be annoying because when I was doing the audio files and everything, I tagged last episode for 64. So now I gotta put. I guess I'll put 63. Or I'll put 64 and a half. There you go.
There you go.
On the files.